really lost sight of everything that was right in front of me.
Hollywood is about to explode because Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher's twisted past just got dragged back into the spotlight. But this time, it's not the press doing the talking. It's not some anonymous tip. It's one of their own. Demi's daughter. Unhealthy obsessions, links to Diddy, questionable involvement with young actors. One of Demi Moore's daughters has finally broken the silence. And what she's revealing is nothing short of unsettling and disturbing. And it's been buried under red carpets and press tours for years. Tula Willis, daughter of Demi Moore and Bruce Willis, has broken her silence. And what she's revealing about Demi's relationship with Ashton Kutcher is raising some serious eyebrows. For years, Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher were the golden couple, the ageless beauty and the rising star. But while the tabloids fawned over their 15-year age gap and red carpet love behind the scenes, Moore's daughter was struggling. And now she's exposing everything.
It was that moment. It was like there was a lot going on, and I really went inside of myself, and that did send me into like a total dumpster fire. It was really hard, and I'm still unpacking.
What no one knew was that all of this goes way, way back. In an interview with Drew Barrymore, Tula made a pretty damning confession that she felt abandoned by her mother. But that was just barely scratching the surface. And her exact words, well, here's what she said. So much of that time, especially with Ashton, I was so angry because I felt like something that was mine had been taken away. Also, when she wanted to have another baby and then it wasn't happening and there was so much focus on that, it was like, oh, well, we're not enough. And Tula didn't stop there. She revealed that while her mom was deeply in love or had a very intense interest in Ashton, Demi pushed her own children to the sidelines. Tula was only 11 years old when Moore married Kutcher, and she recalled feeling forgotten as her mother became more and more lost in her relationship, leaving Tula to navigate her emotions largely on her own.
Much of that time, especially with Ashton, I was so angry because I felt like something that was mine had been taken away.
Tula Willis has candidly shared the emotional challenges she faced during her mother's marriage to Ashton Kutcher. She felt neglected during this period, stating that she felt very forgotten and believed her mother didn't love her, as Moore's attention was all focused on Kutcher.
And I felt like I developed and I nurtured a narrative that she didn't love me.
But that's barely something to lose your mind or respect over, is it? What Nepo babies don't have mommy or daddy issues, right? So let's back it up for a second and get down to what was really going on. Moore and Kutcher started dating in 2003 when he was just 25 and she was 40. A 15-year difference, and Moore made no secret about trying to match his youthful energy. Plastic surgery rumors, a revamped image, and that infamous Vanity Fair cover Demi was on a mission. Of course, Demi wasn't so quick to let up, especially not about those plastic surgery rumors. In one interview, she had this to say, "It's completely false. I've never had it done, but I would never judge those who have. If it's the best thing for them, then I don't see a problem." Still, behind the scenes, Demi was apparently trying to please her young man, willing to go to whatever length, but it came at a cost.
It was difficult. Emotionally, that idea that I think many of us have been where we're trying to make something better and then we just keep making it worse.
Her daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tula, watched their mom drift further and further away, and Ashton wasn't particularly helping matters at all. According to Tula, he was more focused on his career and public image than on building a family. The situation became even more tense when Demi suffered a miscarriage 6 months into a pregnancy with Ashton. That tragedy, instead of bringing the family closer, drove an even deeper wedge between her and her daughters.
Because it was unquestionable, because there was no heartbeat.
And you tried again. You had in vitro?
Quite a few times. I can't even really bring fully to words how lost, empty, desperate, confused. I really lost sight of everything that was right in front of me.
In her 2019 memoir, Inside Out, Demi confessed to turning to substances and alcohol to cope. "I ended up pregnant, and then I lost the baby at almost 6 months. And so, when I couldn't get pregnant again, the guilt that I felt that it was clearly my fault was just enormous." But Tula paints a much darker picture, one where Demi's obsession with staying young and being desired overshadowed her role as a mother. And there's more. In Inside Out, Demi Moore admitted she broke her sobriety while with Ashton Kutcher, trying to mold herself into the perfect partner for him. She claimed she agreed to group intimacy just to keep him happy. But instead of saving their relationship, it left her feeling hollow and lost. The question on everyone's mind: what was really going on behind closed doors between Demi and Ashton? Let's not forget Ashton's very close and very questionable relationship to Diddy. Knowing what we now know, you can't help but side-eye Ashton. What does he know? More importantly, what is he hiding? And even worse, what exactly did he take part in?
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but...
And hold your breath for this one, because Ashton's not the only one under fire here. Recently, a very disturbing clip of Demi also resurfaced. And in light of the explosive revelations from the Diddy case and Ashton's ties to it, it's enough to make you sick to your stomach, because here she is behaving inappropriately with and kissing her underage co-star.
Okay, one more time.
Say what you will, that's a bit yuck. But some fans are defending her. It was a long time ago, she was young, times were different then, but others are not letting it slide, saying that Demi always had a thing for younger lovers and that this was just the start of it. Demi Moore wasn't just dating a younger man, she was competing with him for roles, for attention, for relevance, and she was willing to risk everything, including her daughters, to win. And let's not forget Ashton's own little scandals after his split from Demi. Ashton Kutcher, once celebrated as a tech-savvy actor and devoted family man, found himself under renewed scrutiny. Following his high-profile marriage to Demi Moore, Kutcher married Mila Kunis and worked to cultivate a more grounded public image. However, the 2023 conviction of their former co-star Danny Masterson, no less, brought fresh controversy. Kutcher and Kunis faced significant backlash after it was revealed they had written character letters seeking leniency from Masterson. Basically, they told the judge what a great human being their friend was, and basically praised a man who had been accused of some truly horrible and inappropriate things.
Backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. The actors were criticized for calling their former co-star a role model, among other things. And the consensus is that that video didn't help.
The backlash was immediate. So bad, in fact, that the couple was forced to make a public apology.
We are aware of the pain that has been caused by the character letters that we wrote on behalf of Danny Masterson.
We support victims. We have done this historically through our work and will continue to do so in the future.
Tula Willis's candid interview on The Drew Barrymore Show resonated deeply with audiences, sparking a wave of reactions across social media. Many praised her vulnerability and courage in discussing personal struggles, while others criticized Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher for perceived emotional neglect. In the interview, Tallulah opened up about growing up in the public eye, her family's openness about Bruce Willis's health, and her own journey through grief and healing. She emphasized the importance of sharing her experiences to help others facing similar challenges. Drew Barrymore, relating to Tallulah's experiences, shared her own reflections and wishing her rehab stints had been kept out of the public eye. Tula opened up about why she decided to share her experience of having an eating disorder. I felt like the things that had occurred in more recent years, I very visibly was struggling with an eating disorder, and because of the age of social media, and that was very present, and there was actually a tremendous amount of concern for me that I got on my Instagram, and as I'm early in recovery in that, it's interesting to talk about it because I don't know if I had my full footing. I'm just trying every day. Demi hasn't responded publicly to Tallulah's statements. Neither has Ashton, but their silence is louder than ever. The damage clearly has already been done. Tallula, now 30, is focused on healing. She's talked about her own battles with an eating disorder, borderline personality disorder, and substance issues. But this interview marked a turning point. a moment where she took back control of her story. However, the internal cries to tend my most blistered and deep wounds repeatedly fell on deaf ears. I did not value myself, my life, or my body, and as such, I was constantly punishing for not being enough. Self-destruction fueled with unhealthy coping left me a shell and the world on mute. It's a journey full of pain, resilience, and brutal truth, and she's not holding anything back. This isn't just another Hollywood feud. This is a daughter finally saying what everyone was afraid to admit, that beneath the glamour, the Moore-Kutcher household was a battlefield of broken promises, ignored children, and a toxic obsession with image. Demi Moore may have conquered Hollywood, but in doing so, she lost her daughters. And now they're speaking out. Thanks for watching. We'll keep digging into this story as it develops. If you've got tips or names to add to the list, drop them in the comments. This rabbit hole goes deep. And remember, sometimes the darkest secrets were the brightest smiles. Subscribe for more bombshells, breakdowns, and truths they never wanted you to hear.